Hostiles!
I've learned that most games overpromise and underdeliver. Menace is different.
It's confirmed.
I'm not trying to overhype this. I expected this game to be a 10 out of 10, a 9 at the lowest. Its devs have already made one of the best turn-based tactics games of all time. But Menace isn't a 10, it's a 15. It blew my expectations away, and I already expected everything I could. And it does this because it's different. It doesn't just bring some new ideas to the turn-based tactics genre, it reinvents it. I've never played something like this before, but I've always wanted it. I've always asked, why can't there be a turn-based game that's milsim, but actually good? Now it's here, and it makes the answer to that question seem obvious. This game is incredible, and that's why no one's made it before. The amount of effort, creativity, testing, risk-taking confidence, and just dedication to perfecting this concept of presenting modern combat is incredible in itself. At least I'm sure it must have been, because you can't make a game this fucking good without putting in work, and it is good. This is the game that I've been looking for a decade. Since I first played XCOM and Arma and got the itch to live out all my milsim dreams combined with the depth of a turn-based tactics masterpiece. I don't need to search tactics games roundups anymore. The top tactics game is here. I found it. And this is just the demo. This is just 3 missions in a row and I already love it. But I'm trying not to overhype this. So no more just telling. Now let's show it. You and I, let's take a look at Menace.
Hostiles!
Let's get them some help.
Hell yeah, Major!
Rocket! Yeah, still under heavy fire.
Major, requesting orders to assist us out. Keep it up, Marine!
Coordinates received. Fire mission underway.
Awesome work, Major. They cower like dogs.
Move it, Marines! Leave no one
Put down every dog.
Oh my fucking god!
Menace is sci-fi themed, but it's actually about modern combat. Futuristic elements do feature quite heavily, but the heart of the game is fundamentally grounded to our present day, from its equipment to its tactics. I mean, really, you play as Marines in space. Not Space Marines, I mean literally the Marine Corps in space.
Semper Fi! Time to shut up and color, boys. Yet!
The fight dynamics are just as contemporary as they center around the concept of maneuver warfare. That's the thing we did after World War I with all the trenches, but before the new way of war with FPV bomb drones and all the trenches. Menace doesn't aim for realism, but instead immersion into the military fantasy we crave, where bold soldiers fix, flank, and finish their opponents with fire and movement. Opponents who are near peer use combined arms like we do, but not the combined arms where artillery and airborne platforms are stealing all the show. This is the good old version, where the winner is whoever can just move their way to the right bits of terrain, while using suppression as their shield. Artillery and aircraft do feature, but aren't the focus, being kept in check as support, like a one-time airstrike you can call in, or single mortar tubes you can choose to equip on your squads as a special weapon. Or rocket artillery trucks that cook off when you shoot them enough.
I want to see that out of you, 1/3.
These assets are useful tools that provide flavor to the combat, but the focus remains on the infantry and their rifles, and the armored vehicles with whom they work in close cooperation. In the 3 mission operations I played in this demo, victory was won by these well-trained professionals making the right movements, suppressing the right targets, and employing their weapon systems appropriately to neutralize emerging threats and accomplish mission objectives.
Pressing fire! That's it, Marines.
This immersive, methodical gameplay is extremely satisfying, at least to me. The process of pinning targets in place and working to defeat them over drawn-out firefights is deeply engaging, and is immediately different to other turn-based tactics games, which tend to be more about ambushing and alpha-striking your opponents before they ever have a chance to fight back. Something already heavily discouraged by MENACE due to its interleaved turn system, where you play one unit's turn, then the enemy plays a turn of one of their units, and so forth till all the units are done. For this reason and more, MENACE's enemies do get to fight back, and they are just as capable of suppressing and destroying you if you give them half a chance. The combat feels fair but dangerous, where wrong moves are punished, but the right ones bring victory in stunning strokes, where explosives and specialist weapons turn the tide of battles, but can't win them on their own, and where the difference between a clean sweep with no casualties and a total wipeout of a defeat comes down to the plan you make going into the battle and the decisions you make throughout its course. This makes MENACE perfect for those of us who love the tactics genre. It also makes it perfect for fans of another genre, Milsim. Yes, that's Milsim, which stands for Military Simulator if you didn't know, but try not to get confused. Milsim as a genre tends to only be about simulating the fun parts of war, like dressing up in cool outfits and running around with a gun like really intense paintball. Milsim as a genre does not tend to simulate the less fun parts of the business of war, like sitting around for months of constant boredom and dread until a flying robot rams an IED into you.
Fuck you!
In this understanding, MENACE is the perfect Milsim game. It's engineered to present you with the ideal situations for dynamic, evolving firefights. It keeps all the overpowered stuff that would ruin those firefights out of the picture, or suitably restrained, and it gives it all to you in a package that deeply appreciates the niche specifics of military culture.
Damn it, Pug! Shoot to kill! Pogue! Not Pog!
I love this game. If you're infected with the Milsim sickness, or you think you could be vulnerable to catching that disease, MENACE is likely to capture your heart as quickly and thoroughly as it captured mine. Even if you're not into that stuff, you don't have to be. The game itself is fantastic, just as a turn-based game. Maybe it'll be your gateway game. Maybe next year you'll know all about calibers, like what happened to me the first time I got into Tarkov. So that covers the core of what MENACE is, at least in this limited demo. The full game will have a starfaring strategy layer, progressive base upgrading, and aliens. Lots of creepy aliens, apparently. MENACE, the title of the game, is actually referring to some unnatural threat you'll have to face. We don't know exactly what it is yet, but it's made of black goo and it's probably gonna be mean. I don't think the flamers are just for roasting pirates.
Nice work.
So now that we know what MENACE is, we can talk about why it's so good at being that thing. And there's a few things to discuss there, like hours worth of things, but today I'm just going to talk about the thing that every turn-based game must live or die on. MENACE is made by Overhyped Studios, who also made Battle Brothers, a swords and shields turn-based tactics game set in a gritty world. This game is to this day the most immersed I've ever felt in old-era combat and military tactics. And when I say that, keep in mind the graphics of the units in this game don't even have legs. Or hands, they're just half-busts with no animations. And yet, can you feel that? Even with such a limited graphical style, this game exudes what the kids call aura. It's immersive, and it gets a lot of help from its incredible sounds, and its art style is actually pretty good in my opinion, but also, the gameplay itself carries a lot of that weight. Its representation of archaic martial combat is as much a faithful devotion to enthusiasts of that era as it is a wildly enjoyable, addictive, exhilarating experience as a turn-based tactical game. I have never played anything in the genre with the same kind of methodical, intense, but ultimately fair and well-balanced challenge as Battle Brothers. It is every bit as rewarding as it is punishing, and Battle Brothers was their first game! And Menace is now their second. Overhype has continued to strive for perfection in how Menace works, and that just radiates from every moment I've got to spend with it, which is why I'm so insanely enthusiastic about it. Easiest to point to, and perhaps one of the most important things to point to, is the game's mechanics. This game is designed well. The fundamental feature that defines how it works is unit suppression. Infantry squads begin in an unaffected state, but combat can drive them to be suppressed, and eventually, pinned down. Suppressed units are less accurate and lose around a third of their action points. Pinned down units lose all of their action points and are effectively stunned. Different weapons and events apply more or less suppression, depending on the context of the target. Machine guns apply a lot of suppression quickly, while heavy armored soldiers are more resistant to suppression from weapons that can't reliably harm them. How effective the incoming fire is directly related to how suppressive it is. Units in cover are less immediately terrified of your bullets than units you've caught out in the open, and units can be suppressed even by attacks that weren't directly aimed at them, though less effectively than by nearer misses or, of course, actually just fucking hitting them. Near everything interacts in some way with suppression. Getting hurt increases suppression, losing a squad mate increases suppression, and so on. Big scary explosions increase suppression.
Quite a bit of collateral, Major!
And so it goes. Pretty much the entire game's combat revolves around or relates to this mechanic. Suppress enemy units to minimize their threat and deal with how outnumbered you often are. Don't let your own units get too suppressed, because if the enemy gets fire superiority on you, you lose your turns and your ability to turn things around. Suppression decays over time, with a chunk removed from a unit after every time it's taken a turn. This means that combats aren't just one and done solved by a burst of suppression, but instead are living, breathing firefights that require constant management to stay on top of. This is supremely well balanced in Menace, and well designed from the get-go, which is impressive because a lot of games have tried this and failed. Or, honestly, more commonly, have tried it and just been kind of okay at it, but nothing else I can think of weaves suppression into every facet of combat so organically without making it feel overly crunchy or a chore to keep in mind, or just weird like it was tacked on as someone's odd idea after most of the game was already balanced. Menace doesn't struggle with that at all. Suppression is the heart of the game, and interacting with it feels completely natural.
Advance opportunity!
But it's not the only part of the game. Fire and movement doctrine is key to its combat, but the game also brings in all the combined arms assets that are nightmares to balance in other titles, and includes them effortlessly without breaking its own combat. All that stuff we love in concept, but in practice ruins the balance, like grenades, sniper rifles, and even tank cannons, are as statistically powerful here as you'd expect. But the element's hit mechanic of Menace limits how many individual people inside a squad can be hit by one at once. So a rocket launcher that can knock out an armored truck easily can also be fired against an infantry squad, but because it can only hit one element per attack, it's often less effective than spraying that squad with automatic fire from your rifles, where every individual bullet has its own chance to hit and its own chance to kill another target.
I'm out!
Speaking of which, there's squads in this game. It's another extremely well-designed and well-fitting mechanic for this game, where instead of ordering individual soldiers like in other turn-based titles, you order around squad leaders who are supported by their squads. You can make these squads bigger or smaller in mission prep, and each soldier added or removed from a squad directly impacts how much health and firepower that squad has. This isn't done arbitrarily. Quite literally, every individual soldier seems to be being simulated as they bring their own set of armor, their own weapon, and their own pool of health. As you lose squad members, you're losing their guns, so now you can't dish out as much fire. The squad leader themselves is always last to go down, and when they do, you have to stabilize them or they die for good. Enemy units work the same way. As you damage an enemy squad, you're actually hitting individual squad members and killing them, removing them from the fight. A squad with only 2 enemies left is going to be a lot less threatening to you than a squad that has 5 guys left. This makes for exceptionally well-developed firefights. Because of how suppression and squads work, Menace's fights last a lot longer, and spread their threat more evenly throughout that time. In other tactics games, random spikes of success or danger define a lot of how combats go. An enemy suddenly hits you, your best trooper dies out of nowhere on a sudden coin flip or just some bad luck. The potential for RNG to steal the story of a turn is common in a lot of these titles, and Menace still has the same RNG for things like shots hitting or missing the target, but the big difference, however, is the larger scale of squads instead of commanding individuals averages out that RNG. One 50% shot is anyone's guess, but 6 50% shots, and then 6 more again, and then another 6 more after that because of the guns firing in 3-round bursts with this particular action, means you're probably going to score with around, well, let's say 50% of those attacks.
Enemy down!
It's important to note that RNG is still a factor, because I don't really like tactics games that remove RNG from whether or not you'll hit, but the way Menace spreads that RNG out amongst a lot more roles makes things more stable. But because the game is balanced around gunfire from cover to cover being quite inaccurate, there's still room for the excitement that swingy RNG can bring. Like when your squad just locks in and just rolls super well on picking guys off. Oh my god,
Yes!
Derby!
I like how you work. Thanks.
It's fucking insane shooting! Or when you're using special weapons that do still have singular chances to hit, like sniper rifles, rocket launchers, grenades, cannons, and so on.
Come
Nope.
on, come on, come on, come on.
Just wounded, but we get 2 shots per turn, so we'll go again. Got him.
Really hate us!
The game is very well balanced, is what I'm trying to explain here, and what's so impressive about its design is how it gives you the best of both worlds. I've tried plenty of games where RNG dramatically defines the combat, and most of the gameplay revolves around trying to minimize its bad effects. Menace handles this well because even if you swing hard with your luck, you're usually only taking out individual squad members rather than wiping a whole unit out in one go, which feels good because you're wearing them down faster than you expected, but doesn't trivialize the tactics by just making the game about who can roll the best dice the fastest. On the other hand, games that average out RNG with too many rolls or flat out remove it from chance to hit can feel very stale to me and easily solved like a puzzle that just has one best path. Menace avoids that problem by still having RNG, and plenty of situations where its effects can be felt in that traditionally dramatic and exciting way. When grenades are being tossed at you, when rockets are coming in, and when you're being belted with hailstorms of fire, you will clench up. You will beg that fucking rocket gunner to miss. Shit. I cannot say enough how impressed I am with this game. Like, the amount of testing and game design chops it takes to deliver something like this is kinda nuts. Well fucking done! The evolution of turn-based modern squad tactics games, in my opinion, up to this point has looked something like this. XCOM, Silent Storm or something, okay, big gap, and now it's XCOM again. Now lots of XCOM likes, now Battletech's here. And it's cool, it's really great, but it's not really the same kind of thing, so it's just its own awesome thing over on the side. Samey, same. Oh, Gears Tactics! An actual evolution in the squad tactics genre for the first time in 8 years. Oh, never mind, no one cares about it because it's Gears.
Fuck!
Okay, same. Ignore what Gears Tactics did. Same. And whoa, what the fuck is this?
Menace.
Menace is what the fuck this is, and I am enthusiastic to tell you about how different it is. It's not just a breath of fresh air, it is a gasp of new life to evolve this genre, to take it to this larger scale combined arms place perfectly for the first time ever. No mods, no wishing you could make this game into something it's not, just out the box designed by really good designers to be that game we've always wanted. Is how I feel about it anyway, but you do you. I mean, it's basically perfectly targeted to me and my specific interests, but then again, I don't think my specific interests are really that specific if I'm being honest. Can we please have a combined arms military tactics game? Like an Arma XCOM? Sure. Can it be good? I wanted to talk about the presentation and polish as well a lot more, but to be honest, I don't have time. I'm trying to keep the length of this video short enough that I can actually release it anytime soon, because people need to know about this game. You've probably been looking for it, I have. And if hard work should ever pay off in this careless world, the efforts of these devs should be rewarded. This game is incredible. The presentation is amazing. Maybe it's better I don't tell you all about it, because honestly, it's been a joy for me to get to experience it for the first time. I've fallen in love with all the squad leaders already. When Pike praises the younger soldiers so genuinely, like it's the most important thing in the world, even while he's still getting shot at.
Major, keep your eyes on this Marine.
I appreciate it.
Major, C2 is strong. This soldier's very combat effective.
I mean, do you hear it? Like, the voice talent and direction is so good, they're making me feel wholesome. He's been a Lance Corporal for like 50 fucking years, and he's mentoring the next generation.
I want you feeling it, Marines! Keep pouring it on!
This game sells me on everything it does. The voice actors provide extremely believable performances. Well fucking done to them. And their writing and direction is ideal. At least to me.
Listen up, we're moving.
Finally. Let's do this.
Lay it on them! We're mowing them down, Major. Ah, fuck!
Very good. Fuck them up. Rinse those Philistines. Shut the fuck up.
The rest of the audio as well is just perfect. Vehicle engines thrum, explosions thoom, the gunfire sings.
Nelson, you alright? What?
Orders? Let's do this. They going dogs.
Don't freak out!
How do you make something this good? Ask these people. How? Games like this are so rare, and as you can probably hear, I am wowed by it. And I'm very grateful. If I haven't convinced you by now to check this game out, I don't think anything else I can say will really do much more. I have so much more to say, but I hope to tell you that in future videos where I play through the game at the same time. Hopefully, if I got this video done in time, there'll actually be some of those videos already uploaded from me when this comes out. But the game is MENACE. MENACE, MENACE, MENACE. I was not paid to do this, and unfortunately I don't think I'm ever going to be paid to do this because they do not need to sponsor me to play this game. If the full title is anywhere near as good as this demo, then this is the next grand giant of turn-based tactics. Or at least, I think it deserves to be. Thank you very much to Hooded Horse for giving me early access to the MENACE demo, and to Overhyped Studios and all of the voice actors involved. Thank you for giving me an experience that is already the one I've been waiting for a very, very long time. If you're excited for MENACE as well, or you have any other thoughts on the game or this video, please let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching. Please check out MENACE on Steam when the demo releases, and finally, have a good one. If I may, just quietly before I go. Hoorah, Devil Dog.